Welcome to part 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft and Review. Today we will be looking at the New England Patriots. I would have put this up yesterday, but I was not feeling particularly well, so I just didn't really want to slog through all these picks while feeling under the weather today. I'm feeling considerably better, so here we go with the annual trying to make excuses for Bill Belichick as a general manager. But much respect I have for him as a head coach. He is not that great of a general manager. He's gotten a number of great players that have helped us win a lot, but the last decade has been really goddamn painful, especially on offense. So, the first selection we got at 17, and I'm already leaning towards not liking this pick because I wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba. And, I wanted one of the top receivers of this class, and Bill goes and selects a corner, which is basically the position of strength of this entire damn team. Sure, you're betting a lot on guys that are largely selected in the on day 3, if selected at all in terms of what we've got there, but it's self-inflicted damage there. You could have just paid J.C. Jackson. You wouldn't have had to spend this pick on a corner. I don't think you had to spend this pick on a corner anyways. So now either the receivers I would have wanted better be shit, or this guy better be the next Darrelle Revis. So we'll come over here to his stat line, and I'm not too impressed. The pass defenses are kind of low, at least compared to some that I've seen. It's not a bad number, especially not the 2022 seasons when he transferred to Oregon. He seems to do well when he gets the ball in his hands. A 29.5-yard interception return average in college is no laughing joke. He seems to play a bit on the run, but not too much, and his tackles are a bit on the high side, but tolerable enough considering that one of these seasons he was playing for Colorado, and the Colorado Buffaloes are not exactly a good team last I checked, so I'll come over here and start to rip the Band-Aid off, as it were. Turn this down a bit.
Mills, incomplete inside the 5.
I need to see that again. Right there. Yeah, that that is a play. You've got to put both hands off and pick that off. You cannot give the receiver a chance like that.
Mills, incomplete inside the 5. Christian Gonzalez, the freshman.
There's a lot of good things coming for Arizona State.
Gonna flip it here to Ricky Pearsall, and he's gonna be taken down for a
Good
loss
job
by
there.
Christian Gonzalez.
Pretty much read the play the whole way.
Now they bring pressure on a blitz. It's picked up. Garbers to the sideline, coming back. It's juggled and incomplete. Tried to get that to Trayvon Clark. Christian Gonzalez, the freshman, nice play. The corner for the Buffs to break up that pass.
Well, Garber's going to learn one way or the other.
Cameron Davis, the running back, and slung out to Odunze, and nicely read. Christian Gonzalez, the corner, all over that one.
Would be massive for the Buffs. Can they get a stop? Low the back. Low leaks out. Nolan throws middle off the hands of Lindsey. Good coverage by Christian Gonzalez.
First down and 20. Garber too high for Remigio. Goes up the ladder to bring it in.
Alright, so what I'm going to do now here is skip ahead to Oregon because I don't really see a first-round pick just yet, so I want to see something a little more recent.
When it comes to safety, who has...
God damn it. Mute the ad so that you don't have to sit through unskippable bullshit. I'd use an ad blocker, but I believe in actually, more or less supporting the YouTubers that I like.
No one could tell.
Next year is going to be looked at as one of the top corners in the league.
Well, definitely deserves it.
When you look at a
come
star,
on. What the fuck? Like I said, it's all about supporting the YouTubers like, but what the hell is that?
Fourth rusher comes late, a hole in the sideline, incomplete. Christian Gonzalez on the coverage, a transfer, and it's fourth down again, BYU.
Well, he was excellent a season ago at Colorado at doing just this.
That could maybe be flagged in the NFL.
Trout, boy, he located that snap. Takes a shot back shoulder, and he's picked off. Intercepted by Christian Gonzalez. Pick six against his old team.
Yes, yeah, that is a bad throw.
Penix on third down, lofts it, caught Davis, and Gonzalez sideswipes it.
Well, you just feel the difference in the tackling for these Ducks, don't you?
The lean times and now having some success.
Cole Branson going to throw on first down after the punt block. Got away as there's an interception. What a pick. And the return, Christian Gonzalez down the sideline inside the 30.
Yeah, that doesn't please me to see. An interception like this should be a touchdown like 8 out of 10 times. You have one man to beat, and you manage to go the wrong way, get slowed down, and get caught by what is effectively the offensive lineman. That's not good, ball carrier vision, I would say.
McKee, the outside, brilliant tackle. Christian Gonzalez wraps up the ankles and Elijah Higgins, and it's third down.
Gonzalez out of Colorado, originally from Texas, but transfer from Colorado.
For this program and the mark they want to leave here.
Here he is to throw, and he unshackles the ball down the sideline into traffic, incomplete. Christian Gonzalez nearly picked it off.
Let's talk about these Oregon Ducks. This guy in his game has skyrocketed. He was awesome for 2 years at Colorado.
Like I said, I can't justify this selection. He doesn't look bad, but I just can't justify this selection. We've got enough corners. The secondary was not a point of weakness. How many games did it keep us in last year with critical interceptions, critical touchdowns? Obviously you can't rely on that, especially, from guys that could be one-shot wonders, but it's just frustrating to me that we really didn't need to go corner, and we did it anyways, and okay, this team does have a reputation of making corners really fucking good, especially since Matt Patricia has stopped running the defense, but I really, really would have preferred a receiver here. The offense has been shriveling and dying since 2018. People are somehow blaming Mac Jones when even Tom Brady wasn't able to run this shit show that effectively the last 2 seasons he was here. Boy. I'm going to just move along to the second pick before I really start to flip my shit. And it's basically just going to continue because what I've seen of our second selection, Keon White, is no more impressive. In fact, it's actually been a lot worse than what I've seen of Gonzalez. You know, we've got a guy who came out of Old Dominion and Georgia Tech. Yeah, he had 7.5 sacks in his second year with Georgia Tech. You know, that's a nice stat line he had, but they lost me on this selection. The moment I heard, this guy isn't really that fast. Oh, yay! We're in a conference that has Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and you've got guys like Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, that they could scramble around just as good as pretty much anybody else. It's been basically the fatal Achilles heel of this defense going back to the times when Cam Newton was still a legitimate NFL starter. Mobile quarterbacks wreck this defense. We have needed somebody who can keep up for years. Matt Judon's close. Matt Judon's a really good player. I want to keep Matt Judon around as long as he is goddamn capable of playing at a high level. But he's missing that little extra step of speed that would let him keep up with these guys. So there's a lot of plays that if Judon doesn't blindside them, he ends up chasing them completely futilely, and the linebackers are pretty incapable of making those tackles as well. So, draft another guy that's going to have that problem. Whoa, what the hell, Bill? I've also seen some stuff where apparently he didn't look that pleased to be drafted by us. I'm not going to put a whole lot of weight on that, but
pressure. They only rush 4. Uyunglele from the pocket. Going to get hit. And down he goes. Sacked back at the 22-yard line. Keon White.
TJ Jones in the backfield.
Yeah, I was adjusting the volume.
Pressure. They only rush 4.
I got a fucking... Okay, so he's the one on top.
They only rush 4.
Quick-ass circle.
Uyunglele from the pocket. Going to get hit. And down he goes. Sacked back at the 22-yard line.
That's more luck than anything to have a sack.
TJ Jones in the backfield.
Some good power,
Pressure.
but
Davis, he's not going to get away. Keon White with the sack.
In the first half, they had a 68-yard touchdown run called back by a penalty, and another sack for the Georgia Tech D. That's the 5th of the night, and Keon White continues his menacing night.
It's just Keon White.
With proper leverage and run with him, play the ball.
The give to the freshman Brown. Good job by Georgia Tech. That's White.
He's a guy who you figure can play in a 3-4 defense as a defensive end. He can
up front, but not a whole lot of time together with the transfers. May sacked for the 3rd time tonight. Keon White got there.
Keon White with a first half hat trick. That's the hat trick for Keon White.
Screen on 3rd down and 3. Uyunglele in trouble, gets hit, and then gets rid of the ball. And it's picked up at the 25-yard line. His arm was going forward, though. It's an incomplete pass. The question is that ground?
field in motion. Georgia Tech brings 4. Slovis from the pocket and incomplete. He got hit as he cut it loose. Keon White. And give their offense more shots at it.
Brown again. Keon White.
But like I said, I see the criticism there about his speed. He's got the power, he can get there, but I see it best another Matt Judon here, which means the same damn problem's gonna persist. These mobile quarterbacks are just gonna beat these guys around an edge, scamper off, and it becomes the middle linebacker and secondary's problem, and that is a detriment to our overall run defense and pass defense as well. It's just... We need to get this pass rush shit sorted. You don't need an elite unit. I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for Bill to adapt to the modern fucking NFL. The mobile quarterback is not going away this time because this time most of them can throw the damn football. If you're chasing them around for 20 minutes, they're either going to get rid of it when the secondary finally breaks down, or they're just going to take off and get like 20 to 30 yards because at that point the secondary will be all the way down the field. It's a very simple concept. Just please get someone with the mobility to keep up with these mobile quarterbacks. And I've been saying it for years, and it just constantly have to watch draft after draft, and we didn't get anyone for that, and we didn't get anyone for that. It's intensely frustrating for me. But what somewhat lessens the blow with Keon is the third-round selection, Marte Mapu. He seems to be a bit more of what I wanted, and with the middle linebacker position, a bit questionable. I wouldn't exactly consider Jelon Bentley an absolutely permanent long-term starter. Maybe, but my primary concern is this. Sacramento State. We drafted another FCS guy in the first 3 rounds. Now, this worked out reasonably well with Kyle Duggar. I didn't really expect it would, so, it's like, what the hell do I know about FCS guys? But this stat line kind of gives me more pause because this is the stat line of a really shitty safety. This is not middle linebacker production. This is extremely bad safety production. I'm not sold. Maybe this will change my mind a little bit, but
Hornets rush 4, drop 7. Incomplete. Marte Mapu hammering Hutton.
Here's Osmo. Oh, that's Brown who was going to keep it.
Guess who? Mapu. Number 5 is everywhere for this Hornets secondary. 5 right here is just going to come down the line of scrimmage. Bam! That's a perfect tackle. That's clinic quality right there. Put it on tape.
1st and 10. Day wants to throw. Gets it out into the flats to Quan Hampton. Gets by a defender. He makes another man miss. And he's got a gain of 12, but lost the football. And Sacramento State recovers it. Turnover number 1 goes the way of the Hornets as Prince Washington comes up with the football.
Great job by Quan getting the extra effort.
That's a good job for Marte to get across the field and make that stop where the defensive backs were going.
They just get it off. This is Regan. Lob over the middle, picked off. At the 20-yard line. Across the 30, 40.
Great ability at that linebacker spot by Mon Daly.
When he hits you, you know you've been hit today. Hastings dumps it short. Thorpe. Another hit, Marte Mapu.
They gotta have the back. Look, then once he comes off, he dumps it to him and just
Okay, so one of my concerns is largely smoothed over with this because I see that Sacramento State team running at least what appeared to be a 3 linebacker set. Mapu spent quite a bit of that time seemingly playing outside linebacker. So if they're going to put him to middle linebacker, as I would suspect because he really wasn't getting sacks, and putting this guy at a pass rushing position is not going to help us pretty clearly, I would assume then that as a middle linebacker, this number should probably go up to that 90 to 110 level that I would prefer to see from the position. So my main gripe now basically just comes back to Sacramento State. This is a much lower level of competition. Can he adjust to the NFL? Can he become a playmaker that we sorely need? Because, like I said, Juwan Bentley, the other guys playing middle linebacker, they have not done a good job of keeping these mobile quarterbacks in check. They're not fast enough. That's just the long and short of it. So, next we got center Jake Andrews, and this just puzzles me to no end. I don't get it. Basically, we've got David Andrews already. He's only 30. I don't see a need for this. Maybe to upgrade in terms of a backup in case David Andrews becomes the next guy to just out of the blue miss time on this offensive line, but 4th round with glaring holes in the team, and you're going for a somewhat unneeded center. I don't get that selection. It's just one of those really doesn't click with me very much. And then we get another one. This one is kicker Chad Ryland. And, well, I personally figured the last kicker we drafted would have done the job already. Ryland looks like it's pretty good. Pretty clear that we're looking to move on from Nick Folk. And look at this guy's fucking accuracy. Can you blame us? 97.3% accuracy in terms of extra points. But the field goal made comes down to 77%. And that's where I just kind of look at it like, please don't be this inaccurate in the NFL. His career log is something like 55 yards, and that is fantastic to me because I have been grinding my teeth for several seasons watching Nick Folk just go hot and cold like it's going out of style. The guy will drill a 53-yard field goal just like fucking routine everyday thing, and then will miss a 40-something yard field goal short. So, yeah, I would like it if Chad Ryland did better.
Mac kicker for the job this fall. 27-yarder on the way. And good. Ryland, the freshman, snaps down, kicks on the way, and it is good. A 24-yard field goal at the buzzer for Chad Ryland, and Eastern Michigan takes down Purdue.
This is from 52. Ryland with a kick on its way, and good from 50 plus.
That one makes me question a little bit, because that, I wouldn't say was the best kicked football I've ever seen. But it got there from 52, so assuming that they coach this kid and make sure that he is going to actually be accurate in this league, then he may well end up replacing Nick Folk. If we see anything remotely resembling this 77% number, though, then he is going to be out on his ass extremely quickly. So, for a 4th round selection, this is a potential pick, but it's not one that I like. The next two are the selections that I already know that I don't like. Guards C.D. Sau and Antonio Mafi. At the very, very least, from what I've seen of Mafi, maybe with coaching and probably like 2-3 years sitting on the bench, then he might be a pretty good backup to some of these guys that were starting at guard, like Michael Onwenu and Cole Strange, who we drafted last season. But just 2 guards, okay, sure, as depth pieces, fine, but I just, for what I've seen of them, there's not much to see. That's why I don't have them up here. They're just not. They didn't look like guys that were playing football to end up in the NFL, but they've ended up in the NFL anyways. Some people could take that as, oh, they must be really good, but no, this more like feels just Bill padding the roster with guys that won't ever have to see the field instead of addressing issues. But some of you might have at this point been thinking, oh my god, he's bitching so much they didn't get a receiver. They literally drafted 2 in the 6th round. Yeah, okay, fine. We drafted 2 in the 6th round. One is pretty much the only receiver I'd actually seen before the draft, aside from Jackson Smith and Jigba. And let me tell you, I was not impressed. Kayshon Boutte was basically mediocrity defined. As far as I know, he didn't have a very good combine. I don't put a lot of stock in that, as some of you may know. But it's just, look at the stat line. Yeah, the touchdowns in 2021 wasn't bad, but look at the fucking yardage. It's like, maybe if this guy got more targets, but at the same time, it's, his receiving average gets worse by the season, his touchdowns are inconsistent, his yardage is constantly barely cracking 400, and for a school like LSU, that tends to tell me that this guy was probably like the 3rd or 4th option. But for the benefit of the doubt, I do have some highlights here, so we'll take a look, and maybe I can justify the one receiver I absolutely didn't want to myself.
Max Johnson, man wide open.
Uncovered.
That's a touchdown. And Max Johnson sees it. He knows the blitz is coming, and nobody picks up the outside receiver, and it's an easy.
In the LSU backfield. Finley to throw. Rifles it down the middle. On his way is Kayshon Boutte.
Safety's coming up on the play, and before the opposite safety battle can get there.
Not easy to burn in Alabama. I'll give him that.
Johnson given a nice pocket on target for a first down.
In the SEC, and this is excellent last year.
We're going to stay on this camera for a better look without the fog in his boots.
Bring the corner blitz. The safety doesn't get over. It's a little double move this time by Boutte. He gets.
Johnson has Boutte with a flag down. Kayshon Boutte steps onto the tackle and takes it in.
He move. Max knew he had a free play and go to the different.
Wow, I'm really not impressed. He does not seem to have the quickness that I like to see in a receiver. A lot of these bigger plays are against defenses that I would not consider to be particularly capable units. Like I said, it's he doesn't have a 0% chance here because in the end, this is our wide receiver room. The best 2 people here are Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Parker. It's not even damn close. Technically Kendrick Bourne's still around, and I still have some hope in Tyquan Thornton, but, it wouldn't take that much to establish himself as a 4th, maybe even 5th option. Or 3rd option. But that goes the same for Demario Douglas. So that's one of those picks of I don't care for it. I don't care for that. So then we got a punter, and let me actually go back down here. Do we have a punter? Carlos. Okay, so if this kid's actually good, we might have a new punter.
Indiana, too, stopping the bleed.
And this is a pretty good punt. I watched this play before I sat down. And that's a pretty good one.
By Taylor inside the Indiana 5-yard line.
Just a good booming kick.
Possession
Just
game.
get those 30 yards,
Three
put him inside
touchdowns
the
and 3
10.
two-point conversions.
See what does a little bit longer out.
Well, Behringer hammers that one. Will it check up? I think they downed it before it crossed the plane. It'll be down at the 1.
Good job of putting the extra leg on that from distance. That shows me control. And that is a critical element of the punting game. Your objective is to get it down inside the 20, preferably down inside the 10, as close to the 1 as you can damn well get it. So, control like that is very, very nice to see. Well, here we go, deep one. Let's see how far this gets.
And a playoff bid on the line for both Ohio State and Michigan in that game. Holy shit. Long punt will roll dead at about the 2-yard line.
Abdul Salam wearing number 10. Kalamazoo less than 90 minutes away from campus here at Spartan Stadium. This one turns over beautifully. How about that, Carroll? Inside the 5 and down it goes right there.
Yeah, I like this guy. This is something that I would say we could have used for a while now, some punting consistency. It's been a weird time for that, as, punters aren't really a position I follow too closely, but even I've lost track of who the Patriots punter's been over the past couple of years. So, hopefully this guy will stay around. He looks like he does a good job. So, next up we have the other receiver we took, and this is Liberty's Demario Douglas. And, I'm hoping that this is an instance of a guy that makes his quarterbacks look better than they are, because I have seen what one of his quarterbacks from college looks like in the pros, and that guy sucks. So, I'm hoping that maybe this is one of those instances. So, here we go. Demario Douglas, almost 1,000-yard season. Not bad.
Douglas.
Interesting that they can use him this way.
Sees one down the sideline. Nobody to beat but the officials at the 30, and he's going to punch right back.
Not bad speed, though I'll take it with a bit of a grain of salt, because that's only against UConn, who is not a very good team.
Has some time in the pocket, surveys the field, finds Demario Douglas, makes a man miss,
a second
miss, now trying to get the yardage for the first down, and looks like he'll have it.
Field next to Jonathan Bennett. Bennett drops back, plenty of time, has Douglas wide open, and Demario stays on his feet near the 40.
See that he has a little bit more shift to him than Boutte did.
Douglas in the flat. He's got the edge. Douglas at the
pretty much
15.
points in my book. See, that's a nice. That is a nice little play. Even if it's against UMass, that probably would have beaten defenders substantially better than that guy.
And a play fake here. Salter on the rollout, and a catch is made. Who else? Douglas. Demario Douglas. First down to the Wake Forest 20.
Ball spins back to Salter. RPO. Salter to throw. End zone to the right. Demario Douglas is there. Light him up. Touchdown, Liberty.
I like this pick better than Boutte. I'll just say that right now. I think that Douglas might have a substantially better shot at making this team and contributing than Boutte does. And like I said with Boutte, you really don't have to do much with this team. There's only 2 decent receivers on this team. You've got a gadget guy in Kendrick Bourne and a project in Tyquan Thornton, who hopefully will turn into a deep threat that this team has been severely lacking. But generally speaking, if you can just beat Thornton and Bourne, you're already the number 3 guy. Parker's not going to be here for long because he's aging, so if you can do better than Parker, you're a number 2 guy. And all you've really got to do to rise on this team is just be somebody who can get some goddamn space and catch the fucking ball when Mac Jones hits you in the goddamn chest with it. That is perhaps the greatest way to tell that somebody doesn't watch the Patriots. They blame Mac Jones for these receivers. I have seen no less than at least, I would say, between 3 and 6 interceptions for Mac Jones that were not his fault at all. The receiver just dropped the ball right into the defender's hands. Perfectly thrown pass, hit the receiver where it needed to hit the receiver, and the receiver just fucking flubbed the ball. That's that's just the reality here, is that Mac Jones could be a very good quarterback. He just needs some receivers that don't have bricks for fucking hands. And quite frankly, having guys Mike Gesicki, Hunter Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, that helps. And hopefully they'll actually be a little more properly utilized now that we have an offensive coordinator who's not a complete fucking ass goblin. So, the final 2 selections, we went corner 2 more times, and I don't really like this any better than I did the first 2 times. And the first one is Amir Speed. And he was only really seemingly a starter for that last season. It doesn't really look like he's anything more than kind of a bench stasher, but some of our bench stashers are now looking like some of the best corners in the NFL, so maybe this guy is worth something in like 4 or 5 years. We'll see. But coming over here, not much to look at. Don't really have on the screen. He's up there. Kind of gets dragged by the running back there. Not a particularly good tackle. Yeah, that's no, this is a major project. That looks like somebody in high school and then somebody in college failed to teach him how to really keep up with a receiver, and that is the kind of shit that makes me criticize Ohio State quarterbacks, because that is the kind of crap they've got to throw against in college. Literally, I could probably throw against some of these Big Ten defenses and make a fucking killing. I have never played a down of organized football in my life. That is my level of disrespect for Big Ten defense. A lot of people have tried to crucify me for that over the years, but your opinion of the Big Ten does not change the fact that conference is fucking trash at playing defense. Literally, the best defensive backs Ohio State corners have to play the entire season is basically their own guys in practice. Or when they have to deal with like an SEC school like Alabama, an ACC school like Clemson. But we'll move along to the final pick now. This one intrigues me a little bit more because I know who used to coach this state. This guy got coaching from Deion Sanders. Ashaya Bolden is something of an interesting one to me. He plays a bit of special teams, kickoff, and to a more limited extent punt return for 1 year. And the year that he was somewhat on defense, it's not special, but it could be worth taking a look to see if we can mold him. So, we'll see a kickoff highlight here. I did hear one that he took one back. Good bit of shift. I made Deshaun Jackson on that one. He'd probably cut back to the left. That might have been a touchdown. Yeah, I would say, yeah, this is an extremely raw project sort of player. We'll see if he makes the team. And if he does, I wouldn't expect to really hear the name again for 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 years. You know, the initial rookie contract sort of deal. But it is one of those ones. Keep an eye on. He might be one of those in the future sort of selections. But overall, though, this class doesn't look very good to me. There's pretty much nothing I really like after the first 3 selections, aside from the special teams players and maybe Demario Douglas. But like I said, in special teams, Ryland is a can the special teams coaching get him on the NFL level for kicking. Demario Douglas, it's all about can his potential match up to the NFL. These 2 DBs, it's wait a couple of years, see if they're going to do anything. But the offensive line, man, this is just pure depth. This defensive end is not a solution in the pass rushing game. This linebacker might be an upgrade, and maybe Christian Gonzalez is a contributor, but this just is not a very good class. And when you have this many selections, you need to do better. And I could obviously be horrifically wrong. This could be one of those classes of it turned out there were 4 Hall of Famers, 7 long-term starters, and just about everyone really contributed in the end type of classes. But usually with a class like that, you can see it when they're drafted. You know, you might hear a lot of conjecture from, you know, the armchair people that set impossible standards or compare players to players that they are not. But, like I said, this doesn't look like one of those classes. This looks like a lot of wasted time. This looks like a lot of potential that isn't going to be realized. This looks like the continued ignoring of the fact that our quarterback is fucking dying with no receivers to help. You know, at the very least, we don't have Nelson Aguilar dropping everything that's thrown his way, and we don't have Jacoby Myers to sometimes do the same. But, yeah, you know, it's like we haven't really replaced the losses. We're betting a lot on guys that haven't really proven anything. And it's that situation where you need a really good draft, and this does not look like it's it. So I'd ultimately place this. I'm having a hard time figuring out where I would place this because my disappointment in not getting guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba what makes me want to say this is like a D. But realistically speaking, this is maybe a C, maybe a little better if everything bounces its way, but I just don't really like this. I'm not impressed very much at all. So that is going to do it for the day. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to see when I upload next. Follow me on Twitter. And barring any delays, I will see you tomorrow when I do the New York Jets draft class.